I'm moving my hands a lot in this video. Hello everyone, welcome to She Reading. I am Chi, and today I'm going to be giving you my best and worst of books of 2023 in the form of my 2023 superlatives. So, you know, yearbook superlatives, best dress, which I guess was best cover, most likely to succeed, books I hated, books I love. Some books I read just didn't fit into the category of worst or best. I thought the 2023 superlatives was the best way to sneak them into a video to talk about them without, you know, saying they were the best or the worst. You feel me? Some books were right in the middle, but they had something going for them, and I feel like the girlies need to know. I'm going to start with most shocking, and this is not most shocking content wise, this is most shocking because I anticipated that I would hate these books. Like, I already had them, you know, dubbed for hate, and I just didn't hate them. I ended up loving them. The first one is Yo Girl. Your girl, not mine, because y'all love Emily Henry down something fierce, and I'm like, she cool. Like, I've read all her books at this point. I'm gonna do a whole video on like reviewing all her books, but I was shook because the girlies love this book so much, and you know, I'm a contrarian. The girlies love this so much. I was like, it can't be giving what the girlies said it was giving. But this one, emphasis on this one. I've read, I think, all four of her most recently released books. This one I actually loved. Loved it is a strong word. I liked it a lot better than I thought I was gonna like it, and I thought I wasn't gonna like it at all. So, you know, I was anticipating a 2-star. It was a 4-star. Huge surprise. You know, Emily Henry might be for me. I'm gonna let the answer to that be in the video where I talk about it. The second book is Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. Like, let me talk about this book. I love me some Kennedy Ryan. As a person, like, I just love, she's just an author that's for the people. If that makes any sense. It doesn't. I don't know this woman, but like, she'd be on TikTok, she'd be around, and she'd just be talking, and the way she talks about her books, they just make me want to read them so much. This is a second chance romance. No, I don't do that. I don't do that. If you're gonna break up and leave it at that. Like, I don't believe in second chances. I don't believe in giving men second chances. I don't believe in second chance romance. But I got this book for review from the publisher. I love this book. It's a second chance romance. I give it 5 stars. I give it 5 stars. Like, it was such a good romance. Like, it was such a good romance, and it just was so, oh, I hate to be like the one to say it was so real, because like, I've never gone through anything anyone in this book has gone through. I don't know, the way she told this tale of a second chance romance made me think of like, if a divorced couple was to get back together, I feel like all of the circumstances and around why this couple broke up and why they would get back together, you know, around like, you know, their kids, around just all of these things seemed realistic to me. I don't know nothing about divorce though, so maybe it's not. The little girl in this book needs to be sent away to boot camp. I don't know, for her having 2 black parents, she's acting crazy. The main male in this character, the main male character, I didn't like him that much. And I still give this 5 stars because I love the main female lead, and I get why she would want to. I get him. I understand the man. Like, I understand all the circumstances around there. This is actually a series. I think the second book is already out. I want to read the second book. I haven't yet. I talked way too much about those 2 books. We gotta speed this shit up. Most Forgettable. Ooh, I don't even know the name of this book. Okay, the Most Forgettable is All I've Wanted, All I've Needed by A.E. Valdez. If you ask me anything about this book, I cannot tell you. I think I gave it 3 stars. It was actually a 2-star, if not a 1-star book, but I don't give black authors anything less than 3 stars on Goodreads. I don't know what to tell y'all. It's not that serious, but it is that serious. So I give it 3 stars. I can't tell you anything about this book. I think there is a barbecue. I think the woman moves to Seattle. She goes on a yoga retreat, and at that yoga retreat, I think that's when she discovers she should break up with her boyfriend, her current boyfriend, who's like a baseball player, and he's about to make millions or something, but he doesn't want her to work. I can't tell you, this book was so forgettable. It's a romance, contemporary romance, black characters, black author. I thought I was gonna love it. I don't remember nary a thing. Next category is Biggest Liar, and Biggest Liar goes to The Night Circus. I don't have this book anymore. Actually, I might, but I can't find it. This book is The Biggest Liar because the synopsis on the back does not match with what's going on. You're thinking about to get a fantasy in which 2 rivals are fighting across the years. There's a circus involved, and you just think you're going to get a battle that turns into kind of like rivals to enemies to lovers type of thing. It's not that at all. It's not that at all. Honestly, there is actually no build up to why these characters start to have like a connection, other than in the beginning of the book, you know that they're supposed to be rivals at this circus throughout their lives. Other than that, I'm like, what makes this a thing? What makes these 2 characters a thing? Also, they're never battling. This is not even a spoiler. It just was not what the synopsis said it was. And it's not like I was that excited for a circus book, because I really wasn't. Like, I've never been to the circus. It's not even a big deal. But it really put me off to all circus books for the rest of my life. So that's that on The Night Circus. Biggest Liar. Biggest disappointment is actually a manga. It's this manga. It's called SOTUS, not SCOTUS, SOTUS. I have no idea what this stands for. It's just an education, the synopsis on the back says, an educational system in which upperclassmen impose training, discipline, and challenges on underclassmen. Basically, it is the worst, like, hazing, rude bully book ever, and I think it's supposed to be a romance between these two guys. I don't know how that's possible. It is just so nonsensical. Like, the bullying, the hazing is too much, and somehow I'm supposed to believe that this bullying is supposed to turn into a romance between these two characters. The other classman seems kind of annoyingly engaging in this bullying system. It just makes absolutely no sense. This was not a good book. I know there's also a I think it's a Thai drama that's based on this. I wouldn't recommend you watch it because I hated this book. Continue on the worst books. Superlatives, biggest flop. Biggest flop. I'm gonna get more into this on my Emily Henry book, but book lovers, that book took me no less than 3 months. 3 months to read. I started that book, I think in the month before September, August. Next month, still didn't finish it. Just could not get through that book, and I was so shocked because people with me on vacation like that was really my book, like 4 stars. It could have been a 5-star book, but it just was missing something. Book Lovers was missing everything. Nothing about it just read too nonsensical to me. And maybe it was sensical if you, like, you know, read more contemporary romance. Maybe I'm not in my contemporary romance bag, so maybe that's the reason. But I could not stand that book. The fact that I finished it was only testament to the fact that I want to make a video about all her books, because otherwise that would have been the quickest DNF in my whole 2023. The quickest. Again, on the worst books list superlative, we have most misunderstood. There are 3 books in this category. First one, Business Not As Usual. This is actually the best out of the trio on most misunderstood. It's this book, a book called Off Script, which I'm pretty sure I unhauled. Anyways, Off Script. This book, Off Script, and Savvy Sheldon Feels Good as Hell. This book, I would say, was a romantic comedy or just a contemporary romance rom-com type of thing. This one did its job on what it said it was going to be. It just was not that good of a book. Off Script and Savvy Sheldon Feels Good as Hell were both books that I will categorize as misunderstood, most likely to be misunderstood, because they are coming of age books. Women's fiction. They are women's fiction book with a romantic subplot. Romantic subplot and women's fiction does not a contemporary romance make. Both were advertised as rom-coms, which is absolutely mad. To first advertise something as a comedy, nothing in these 2 books were funny. Nothing in these books, and people were not trying to be comedic. Everything was so serious. Nothing was funny. The only thing that was comedic was the actual plot line, and you think it's funny. The actual plot line of, which one is it? Of Savvy Sheldon Feels Good as Hell, but it stops being funny when you realize how serious the main character is. The main character is extremely superstitious, and the way her superstitions guide her life is absolutely nonsensical. It sounds like a joke, it feels like a joke, it's not a joke. She's so serious, and the author just keeps pushing the seriousness, and I'm like, I could not do this. I could not do this. As the main male lead, I couldn't do this. Yeah, no. And then Off Script was just bad, horrible. The main male character was, it looks like I'm getting on men in this video, and I am, as I always will, but the main character gave nothing. He gave nothing but toxicity, but misogyny, but like just gaslighting, but playing the blame game. I was like, what is the point of making this couple? Like, they are starting off so toxic. So what are we supposed to root for this character? Because it seemed like the author was building up the main male lead to be hated. The author wanted us to hate him, and mission accomplished. I hated the main male lead. So somehow we're supposed to, as the reader, is supposed to like him by the end of the book, even though the author has changed none of the characteristics that made us hate him in the beginning of the book, nor has he made him repent with at least an apology, nothing. I think there might have been an apology. It wasn't good enough. Those books are most misunderstood. Not romantic comedies, not contemporary romances, women's fiction coming of age with a romantic subplot, which is fine, a fine genre, advertises as such. Next is most What the F Did I Just Read? And that is another manga, and that is Toratan, Birds of a Feather. Not much to say about this. It's not much to say about this. A guy falls in love with a raven, a bird. Yeah, and then the guy can hear birds, only birds. The only animal that the guy can listen to or hear, though, he speaks to birds. He can speak to birds, the bird can speak to him. So he ends up falling in love with a raven, a bird. The raven rejects him, and he's sad. That is this manga. I already have the second one, so I am going to read that one. Well, okay, caveat, the raven can turn into a human, but he doesn't know that. And he also already knows the human in which the raven can turn, but he doesn't know that. That's the point. He doesn't know any of that, yet he still fell in love with the raven. So I'm like, this, I don't want, this is not, oh no, I don't read the manga Beasters for a reason. I don't know, but I already have the second one, so I will read that. I already have it, might as well. Yes. Worst second chance read. This one is a little misnamed because I liked House of the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. I liked House of the Cerulean Sea good enough. I think I gave it 3.5, rolled it up to 4 stars. Maybe I gave it 4 stars. I liked it good enough. So, but nothing about it was just like, I gotta read TJ Klune's other books. Like, I really wasn't feeling for that. But I happen to have this in my, I just happen to have his next book. I actually have another one of his, I actually have 2 more of his books. I do not know how I became in possession of TJ Klune's entire discography. Is it a discography if you write bibliography, or if it's entire bibliography? But I am. Under the Whispering Door. This book was just quite boring. Just quite boring. This book was just quite boring. So I'm T.J. Klune, an author I gave a second chance to. Not because the first book I read was boring, but it just like did not engage me. It wasn't the bee's knees. This one was so boring, and usually I don't like the DNF books that I have physically, because I probably paid for them. Unless it's from the library, then I'll DNF it, take that shit back. But this I paid for. That's cute edges, you know. Yeah, boring as all heck. Boring as all heck. Did not make sense. Did not delve into the characters as much. So basically the main character dies in the beginning of the book, and then he meets a Grim Reaper as well as like a transitioner, and he lives at this coffee house where he learns like if he or like how to like get over the fact that he died, and like how he should transition and how he should go to the door that sends him to the other side. That's what it's about. The 75% of this book is absolutely nothing. They don't tell you who the main character is. They tell you who the Grim Reaper is, but then there's this other character who's supposed to guide them and let them know, like, you know, how it's going to be, but he can answer none of the questions. His whole point there is to answer questions. He can't answer any of the questions. I was like, if I was Homeward, I would also be upset, because what is the point of this? I would also just walk through the door because like I'm done with this life. It's not that big a deal. But he was just real pressed that he died, even though his regular life was not that good. Like, he's going through a divorce. Everyone hates him at his law firm. Anyways, he's not that good of a person when he's alive. But this character cannot answer any of his questions, and it pisses me off so much. You don't even know what is the point of him. He's just there to be a companion. He just seems like he's there to be a companion, to be a friend, and then there's supposed to be a romance between them. But I'm just like, it's like the character who's made to be a companion be the second romance interest is just there to be the second romance interest, and like it's almost like the book was written and then they just threw that character in because they need something for why, and it just did not make any sense. I give this book 2 stars because I think J.J. Klune has cute prose. That's all I'm gonna give him. He has cute prose. The cover's really cute. I'm like, will I keep this book? I don't think I will. I will give that book away. I have no reason to keep it. Those are the worst superlatives. Let's go to the guest ones, the good ones. I guess I already did one good one. Let's go to best overall. Best overall, tied. And you know, it's not a good year unless my favorite book of the year is a book by Dr. Nnedi Okorafor, because she is my favorite author. She can do no wrong. She can write no wrong. Everything she writes is gold. This is an amazing book. This is set in North Nigeria, and it's about a futuristic girl who got in a car accident when she was younger, and basically because of her series of accidents when she was younger, so because of that, she is made to be part machine. Not made to be part machine, like her likeness isn't in a machine, but like, you know, her limbs are animatronic, like parts of her body, a lot of her bodies is more machine. So people kind of ostracize her because she's more machine than woman. People say you're not a woman, you're a machine, all these things. So she kind of goes on this quest in North Nigeria to find why she had all these operations, why she's like half machine, and like kind of like understand like this industry in Nigeria, and like how it has connections to like colonialism, how it has connections to different environmental things, all kinds of things. Dr. Nnedi Okorafor can do no wrong. This was the best book, one of my favorite books. The cover is absolutely gorgeous. I loved everything about this. It was the best book I read. Everyone should just read this book. It's so good. All her books are so good. Amazing. So, best overall. Second goes to Iron Widow. This book is just I can't believe this is even a YA book. No tea, no shade to YA books. YA books can be so amazing, but this book was so good. The stakes were so high. It starts off with such a bang. Like my favorite trope to read ever is when when someone is betrothed or has like an arranged marriage to someone, and they were raised to kill that person, and then they fall in love with that person. I thought that was what this one was going to be, but no. This girl said on sight. She said on sight. The main female character on this, I think she's on the side of what's right, but she's not afraid to murk someone because of that. I absolutely love that. Basically, in this world, the women are sent off to be sacrificed to kind of like this prince, but this person who kind of like operates, like in my head it's a Gundam. I don't think it's a Gundam. On this planet, it kind of just operates this machinery. They fight the like adversaries of the people on this earth, or on this world. It's not earth, and all these things. So I think her sister was sent to be one of these women who was sacrificed, and she died. She was sacrificed. So now her parents are sending her. Has a lot of animosity towards her parents because obviously my sister just got murked by these people, and now you're sending me. Obviously you don't care about nothing. She's there and she says, you know what, I'm gonna murk the guy who murked my sister. And she is just taking names the whole time, and it's just so good when it comes to character development, the plot line, the not even a cliffhanger, the plot twist. And when I tell you the plot twist comes on the last page of this book, you are 400 pages in, you think you know what's going, you think things have been settled. This author just changes your whole world in the last page. It was such a good book from start to finish. There's nothing wrong with that. I wouldn't change a thing. 5 stars, perfect book, honestly. Yeah. And when something's a perfect book, I don't read any reviews of it because, you know, if you don't like it, you were wrong. Perfect book, best overall. Best throwback book I read. This, I think I have 2 books for this because these are 2 books that I've had 10 plus years each. One is actually an arc, so it could be even past that. But this one is Lola and the Boy Next Door. This is the sequel or the second book in Anna and the French Kiss, which I don't think I ever read, but I know it had the girlies in a tizzy literally 10 years ago. I have no idea when this book was published. 2011. Over 13 years ago this book was published, and I've had it ever since. And this is an arc. What does that mean? Did I get it in 2010? That's absolutely ridiculous. And then I have Defy the Stars by Claudia Gay. So this book is basically about a girl who is very much not like other girls. This is not like other girls' core, but it was of the times. You gotta give the author grace. Not like other girls. She's like, I don't want to be the same every day. I wear wigs every day and I make weird clothes, but she doesn't do it naturally. It's like she does it for the fact that it makes her different. Anyways, I don't really care. Not too much on teenagers. And she had this thing with this boy who lived next door. He moved away, didn't tell her anything, kind of just ghosted her. She's in a new relationship. He moved back. Things ensue. It's kind of love triangle-y, but I love a love triangle. I don't. Whatever I was about to say is a lie. I hate all love triangles. But the fact that this is a love triangle in which you clearly see where the points are going to be, like you know how it's going to end, you know what's the correct choice, and one's definitely like, you know, one's definitely an acute angle that's like way out there. Because of that, I can live with this love triangle. I was shocked that it survived the test of time because again, it's been 13 years, but it was a cute book. It was a cute YA book, very much still young adult in a way that young adult books should be. Like, I feel like the line of young adult, new adult, and adult books lately has been kind of blurring with these books. So this kind of brought me back to like what a young adult book should be. And it was a cute little contemporary romance. Highly recommend. And then next is Defy the Stars by Claudia Gray. Basically, it's about this girl. She is captain of the ship and she ends up on a ship with a robot. And this robot or android is a type of robot that they have all around in her planet. Basically, they have robots for like, you know, crossing guard robots. They have like, you know, mechanic robots. They have robots for everything. So this one is one of those robots. And these robots are just true robots. Like they, you know, work at the whims of whoever programmed them, all these things. But this robot seems a little different, seems a little more sentient, seems like he knows a little more, yada yada yada. Find out that she does, that he does, that he's a different kind of robot. He's the only robot of his kind that's ever been made because he was like implanted with like the likeness of his creator, and his creator is the person who created the entire robot system. So like he is actually the only sentient robot. And because of that, they are like because of that, people find out that he's been found. He was lost like decades ago. Like his owner lost him decades ago. He's been lost. Everyone's been trying to find him. His owner, who owns like all the androids, has been trying to find him. He does something, sets off alert. They find that he's alive. Everyone starts chasing him and Homegirl. And it's like a journey. He wants to go back to his father, the original guy who created him. She's trying to prevent her planet from being blown up. Also, lots of things going on. Plot twist of a century. I low-key saw it coming. I high-key saw it coming. But still, it was a plot twist once you saw it and saw how it played out. amazing. For this to be a young adult book, again, I'm not getting on a young adult book, but they're so complex and there's so much layers to the characters, to the plot, to like the emotions that that the characters make, to the emotions that lead the characters to make the decisions that they make. So multi-layered. Absolutely adore this book. Literally blew my expectations out of the water. So good. And it's one of those books where actually the print is so, whoa, this was 518 pages. It did not feel like no 518 pages. Most deserving of a sequel. I will die on this hill. I will commit treason on this hill. I will just give up so many things on this hill. Jade Fire Gold. This was one of the best books, 5-star rates that I read. Again, YA fantasy. This is one of the best books I read this year. 5 stars, one of my 5-star reads. Definitely deserves a sequel. But the author is so adamant about not giving a sequel. Like, she's made another book and that book has a sequel and people are just like, give this book a sequel. It ends on a cliffhanger, but not like a cliffhanger in which you need another book to resolve. It's a cliffhanger that's just like, oh, like you can make your own decisions on what happened, but like obviously you kind of obviously know, but I need to delve deeper into that. I need to really know how the end plays out, and the author refuses to give a sequel. I'm acting like she's just being adamant about like not giving us what we want, but she's just living her life. Jade Fire Gold is so good. It's about this exiled boy and he is the rightful heir to the throne of this, like the kingdom. So he has kind of like a vendetta to get back to his throne, to get back and to kill those people who betrayed him, which is his stepmother or which is auntie and his cousin, right? Because his cousin is right now in line for the throne. His aunt or someone is still on the throne. Anyways, the whole royal family gotta go. So he wants to get back to the throne, wants to reclaim everything from his family. He's lost his mom, his dad, his sister, lost everybody. Oops, lost everybody. Then he comes upon, and this is a fantasy, so there's magic afoot. He comes upon this girl who can kill at whim, like blink blink, people are dead. And he's like, what the heck? So apparently there's this prophecy, or basically this like, I guess it's a not really a prophecy, it's just like legend, but it's not legend if it's like real. It's just, there is a known person who is called the, I forgot the name, but it's like very mundane, like person killer or like person murderer or person blow up when she blinks type of thing. So he finds her and he sees her as a way to get back into the palace, has to, like his final piece and to get back in the palace. And people in his group who like, you know that he has a rightful heir, he's the rightful heir to the throne, infiltrate the palace. He uses her, uses other people, uses his friends, all these things. Absolutely amazing. Such a good book. Everything about it was wonderful. I just really wanted more. I just needed more. I just want to know what happens at the end. It's too much like you can deduce, and I don't want to deduce. I want the author to tell me exactly what happens in the story. I don't want to deduce. I don't want to make any deductions. Like, it just doesn't stick the way I want it to. Is there a bookmark in here? Best illustrations, it goes to Wash Day Diaries. I absolutely loved this book. It was just so cute. Really no plot. It's very reminiscent of not Girlfriends, because Girlfriends, they all hate each other and it was pretty toxic, and I've also only watched 2 episodes of Girlfriends. I want to say a Harlem. It's definitely giving very much Harlem, because I think the girls are also in New York. This is very much giving to Harlem. It's about 4 girls. It's called Wash Day Diaries. It's about 4 girls, 4 black girls, but they are just going about their lives with like, dating, family relations, just mental health, and it's just like made in this format of their wash days, which I think is so fun and so cute, especially now. I feel like it's like used to be something that black women used to see as kind of like work or a chore or something, or like there'd be 100 steps, and now it's definitely trying to be kind of like re-seen in the light of like self-care, something that we can do to like really pamper ourselves, all that. So I absolutely adore that. And it's just these 4 close friends and how they're going with their lives in New York with all these different like aspects. I absolutely loved it. I absolutely loved it. I love female friendships in books. It's one of my favorite things. I love a found family. I especially love a female found family, and it was just amazing. This is best illustrations, so I give this book 5 stars, honestly. And I want to get into, I wish I had bookmarked some of my favorite illustrations, but it's just so cute. Just so cutesy. Highly recommend. It's such a cute graphic novel. I love all of the like black graphic novels that are popping up lately. So cute. Absolutely love it. Best illustrations. Cutest couple. Cutest couple goes to Kiki and Malachi from Honey and Spice. Honey and Spice need to be somewhere in this just because it definitely wasn't my favorite. I don't even think it was a 5-star book, but it was so cute and I feel like it was so necessary because why don't we get black people in college? Why don't we get black girls, black women, black boys, black people in college in books anymore? I feel like that's such an untapped market for romance books, for all type, for romance, for contemporary, for coming of age, for all types of books. And Bolu Babalola did that with this. Absolutely loved it. Love the female friendships in the book. Absolutely adore female friendship. And anyways, this is the best couple. The couple here was so cute. Again, I'm gonna use the word realistic, but I just feel like nothing was too fluffy. It was very much still a realistic romance because both of these kids are in college. Both these kids, I mean, I don't want to call them kids, but both these people are in college, and there's just so much that goes on with college that makes a relationship not like your first priority, and I feel like she did that really well with this book. Also, the female friendships don't go into the back burner. I absolutely love that. I hate when books start with, like, you know, a female friend group and then all of a sudden that female friend group disappears, especially if it's a romance, and the main, is this still recording? Yeah, and the main male kind of like becomes, I don't know, takes that role away from the main female character. Absolutely hate this. Did not happen in this book. Absolutely love that. The main male character and main female character, both of them so realistic, both going through their own things, trying to navigate college. I may be wrong, but I think both of them are first generation something. I'm not sure if they're all first generation African. I'm pretty sure the main female girl is a first generation African. Also love the female friendships because one of her closest friends is named Trauma, which is also my name. I love that. You know, that's a representation. That's actually the only representation I ever want. I want my exact name in books. If a book has my exact name, especially because Trauma is one of the most common names in Nigeria, if I see a Nigerian book, even if it's like a book by a Nigerian author or a book based in Nigeria and one of the main characters has my name, no matter what, I'm going to get it and I'm going to read it and I'm probably going to love it. I just feel like Traumas brings so much to books and she brought everything to this book. Love them as a couple, extremely cute. Everything about them, so realistic, so just atmospheric with the college atmosphere. They did well. Bolu Babalula 8 with this one. Next is Biggest Heartbreaker, and that's going to go to Grown by Tiffany D. Haddish. Not because of whatever the traditional superlative would mean. I guess it would be someone who gets around and breaks a lot of heart. This one is because this is a heartbreaking story. This is about a girl. I feel like I talk about this book so much, but oh my gosh, this page is bent. I talked about this book so much because I put it off for literal years. I had it on full display front cover on my bookshelf for probably 2 years before I read it because I knew it was going to be a hard read, and it's just done so well. It's done so well. So basically the main character is an aspiring singer. The premise of this book is the main character is an aspiring singer. She wants to be a singer. She ends up catching the attention of this Hollywood producer, this big Hollywood producer. Like, this is a name that her parents are familiar with. Yeah, a big Hollywood producer, and basically starts this very tumultuous, toxic relationship where he begins to like groom her, where she's taken away from her family. She starts to isolate from her family, her school, her friends. And she is very, very young, so she's very impressionable. And this is kind of an older person who she sees and looks up to in the industry that she wants to be in. You can see how that goes. Very toxic, very hard to read. But Tiffany D. Haddish just wrote this so amazingly. You really get into the mind of the main female character, which, let me get her name, Enchanted. You really get into Enchanted's mind, and you know why she's making the decisions she's making, even though you don't agree with them. But you can kind of see, like, if you were her age, how she can come to the conclusion that these decisions are the best decisions for her, even though while I'm reading, I'm just like, go left, you're going right when you can go left, make this decision, don't make this one. It's just very much, you have so much sympathy for Enchanted throughout this whole story. Absolutely love this. This is just a heartbreaking tale, but such a good book. So this one went Biggest Heartbreak. Amazing. I give that one 5 stars too. Beauty and Brains is the last category, and that goes to, this is a sequel to the first book which I have, which is Mirage. This is my, first of all, just for the duology, I feel like we don't get duologies anymore. Everyone wants a trilogy, everyone wants a series, everyone wants 8 books. Bring back the duology. You should have one book, have a sequel, and be done. And that's what this series did, and it was so good. This is a sci-fi book, but it reads like a fantasy, and I don't know how to explain that. It just reads like a fantasy. Basically, there's this girl, she's a princess. She's half a princess from the place in which she is princessing, and she's also half part of this place where her people that she's princessing over think it's a barbaric kind of like tribe of people, group of people, planet, all that. She is about to become queen. There's a lot of things like going on around her becoming queen, so she needs a body double. She kidnaps a girl. Her her political group conglomerate kidnapped a girl who looks just like her, and that girl is made to be her body double. You find out so much about kind of like her becoming princess, the faction that wants to prevent that, why they want to prevent that, how she even came to the land that she is, since she is half of kind of like the people in which her people are oppressing, how she came to that, what she feels about like her becoming queen, like the politics around her father and all that. You learn so much. I think there's a romance subplot. There is a romance subplot, and there's also a sapphic romance subplot. A sapphic romance subplot in the sequel, I'm pretty sure, and then just a romance subplot. But the romance is done so well because it's not one of those love conquers all type romances where, you know, in the fantasy, like people will like just, you know, the people will be so down bad and they'll make stupid decisions. It's not one of those. Like, girl will be like, you can go if you ain't down with the revolution. And I love that for her. I love that for the main people. So if you were into sci-fi, political intrigue, this author is actually a Black author. I don't know why, but I feel like I put her on a different list, but she's a Black author. Amazing, amazing fantasy sci-fi series. Yeah, highly recommend Beauty and Brains because the main characters are both so smart. Like, the main male leads are really just side characters, and I love that. I adore that. It's the main female leads. All of them are just doing everything. Even the villain. No, the villains are men. The villains are men, as they should be, but the main characters are so smart. Everything. Absolutely love this. This is Beauty and Brains' best. One of my favorites. That is it. Those are my best and worst books of 2023, my 2023 superlatives. Let me know if you've read any of these books, what you think about any of these books. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys later.